Hey guys, Mike here with Mike Latzer Photography, and today I want to walk through tasks and task boards in Dubsado, okay? I'm going to walk through how you use them, how you add them, where to find them, some interesting quirks about them, and make some suggestions about which ones to use when and where and the best way possible, okay? So let's dig in. First thing is tasks. What are they? They're effectively to-do items, so you keep track of things you need to do for each project or even for your business, depending on how you assign them, okay? So let's first look at where you find your tasks, all right? First place that I'm going to show you is in your workflows. Now, typically what these look like are simply to-do items. So I have, let's look at my Dubsado lead capture, and I've got, I want to say one or two in here, yep. And what you'll see is you've got your normal workflow steps, and then I've got a couple said create to do. And this is simply, me assigning a task to myself where I say, prep for, this client consult. It's a reminder before a scheduled appointment starts to do my background research and make sure I'm ready for it. And this is self-assigned. This is something that I do for myself, and it's because it's a task that for this workflow, it's very consistent and it happens every time. Okay, so here's one place where you can find and also create tasks. They're called to-dos here, but they're tasks. Okay, the next place is in your projects. So let's type in my test one, which is just going to me. Okay, and you've got workflows and tasks here. So workflows, it's the same thing as in your template workflows. It's just these are where they're actually assigned to you, right? So this is for the actual project file. You find them here. They work the same way. It's just obviously if it's in the project folder, it's assigned to just that client's workflows. The other place you find it is in the task tab here. And you've got my task, all task, and project boards. I'm going to show or explain the difference in those in a minute, but this is where you find your tasks as a whole, okay? Now, the next place is we're going to find them is in our dashboard. So here's the dashboard. When you first see it, if you scroll down a little bit on the bottom right, you'll see tasks. These are all of the active tasks that are assigned to you, mostly. Again, there's a quirk here, okay, but they're mostly assigned to you. And you'll see these are for a summary, so these are the items that you need to do. Here are the projects that they're associated with. Here's the assignee. And here are the due dates. You also have the option to duplicate the task, to delete the task, or mark it complete from your dashboard. And if you want to, you can also add a task here, right? So kind of like same interface for the workflow. You can just go add task, body, I don't know. Record, Dubsado task, video. You assign your due date. We'll say that I have to finish this by tomorrow. There is no project because this is just for me. This is just for the business. Assignee, I'm going to assign it to myself. And make task private. This is so that if this is assigned to a project, right? So we'll say it's for this test project. It's so that in the client portal, if you hit private, they won't see this to-do item, okay? Only the assigned person or the Dubsado end of the interface will see it, okay? So obviously this is just for myself. I don't need it. I'm going to hit save, right? And it pops up down here. Really cool, okay? So the next place you'll find your tasks are in your submenu here. Go to tasks. And you've got effectively the exact same list that was on your dashboard, but there's a slight difference here in that you'll notice up here we've got my tasks, all tasks, and boards, okay? Again, I'm going to go through boards later because they're a little more involved and different, but on the high level, you want to look at my task and all tasks. Now, for me, my task and all tasks look exactly the same, okay? And here's why. If I add a task here, and again, you can do this from the project dashboard. You can do this from a workflow. It'll still apply here, okay? I'm going to rewrite that original to-do, which is create Dubsado task video. I'm going to give it a due date of tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. No project. I'm going to assign it to myself. I'm going to hit save. Okay, so let's see, it just showed up here, right? Go to my tasks, looks exactly the same, right? Now I'm going to go back to this task, and I'm going to remove the assignee, which is me. I'm going to hit save. Okay, now we're in all tasks. You can see the assignee, it's mostly me, just not here. Now if I go to my tasks, it's gone. Okay, we don't see that. Why? Because it's not assigned to me, right? This is my particular Dubsado user interface, so if I don't assign it to myself, I don't see the task. But again, here's where you can see all of the tasks. So if you're working with a team of people, this is really handy because now you have a full view of everything that everybody's doing, right? But if you have so much clutter that you can't organize it, or you can't find your stuff, just go to My Tasks, and you can see everything that you have to do for all of your projects, okay? So that's how that works, right? And then you might actually, can you filter here? Yeah, you can actually filter in all tasks just yourself, which is really cool, okay? So we're gonna go back to all, okay? And again, you can look at the completed tasks, all tasks. I only look at incomplete tasks because those are the only ones I care about personally. Again, because I'm the only person in my business, so I know what I've done and what I haven't done, usually. Okay, so we're gonna delete this task again. Ta-doom. Okay, so that's cool. Now, what about boards? What is this thing here? Okay, here's the initial interface for this. And before I open one, basically boards are, if any of you are familiar with the program called Trello, it's a column organization with a series of like cards. So I'll show you the interface on mine real quick. So this is one of my boards. This is just my general photo to-do list. Obviously it's chaos because I'm an organizational, colorful wackadoo. And you'll see I've got everything broken down into Monday tasks, Tuesday tasks, Wednesday tasks, Thursday, Friday, goals. I've even got, you know, classes I have to take. And this is just one board, okay? So the reason why I use Trello personally is I keep all of my business stuff in Trello, but I keep all of my client project work in Dubsado. It's just my preference for how to organize everything. And it's a lot of it is because it's just me in the business, right? I am the only person in here. If I was working with teams, I may structure things differently. But again, so going back to boards, your Dubsado boards are very similar to the Trello boards. Share some of the same ideas. They're not exactly the same though, okay? And you can do multiple boards, yada, 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 okay? But that's not important right now. Okay, so back here to Dubsado. So let's say we're gonna go to my Dubsado to-do template, okay? Actually, let's not do that. I'm gonna go back. Go back. Okay, so I'm gonna create a board real quick, and we're gonna call this branding client. Okay, this is branding photography. Okay, and I can assign this to a project. So I'm going to assign it to myself so I don't plug in my other real clients. I'll hit add. Okay, so here's the interface. Here's what it looks like. And it's really nice because it automatically pulled me into the project file. Okay, so it's really blank right now. And we have this thing called new column. So all I got to do is tap here. And I'm going to create columns of activities I want to do. So let's say for a branding photography client, clothing is a thing. Locations. It's being really slow today. And then I'll just say props for whatever reason, okay? So these are organizational columns for a series of activities that fall under these columns, right? Or these groupings. So I'm going to hit plus here, and I'm going to say, you know, determine, close, well, determine, we'll say, level of dress for shoot. Again, it's really slow to upload today for some reason. Hit another plus sign. We'll say, I don't know, select close. Oh, I didn't save the first one. That's really goofy. Level of, oh, there it is. It just popped up. Man, Dubsado servers are really slow. I think it's because they're doing an update right now. They're anyways, select close. We'll determine the level of dress for the shoot. Select the close. We'll narrow down selection. And again, these are kind of linear or whatever. But if we're looking at locations, say for instance, I'm going to say, okay, I need to investigate. We'll say Krog Street Market, Pond City Market, a lot of markets, Avalon, right? And these are just all locations that I need to research for this possible shoot. So there's no particular order to this. It's just a series of items that I need to achieve in general for the project, okay? And then props, kind of the same idea with the rest of these, okay? This drop-down button here, I can delete the board or I can adjust the privacy settings. Privacy settings, here's where it's fun. I can say, okay, this is only for me or, assigned users. Remember, you can assign who does what tasks. Or I can add this to the client portal, and now my clients can actually do these items as well, which is really, really powerful. Now, to show you how these tasks are actually different from the standard tasks that you find as to-dos in your workflows or that you build from the dashboard, is let's say I've got Avalon here, right? I'm going to click on it. Same deal, assign a due date, no big deal. I'm going to say I got to finish this one by Monday, and I'm going to give myself a deadline of, say 1 in the afternoon. The board, it's, why should I assign that? That's already in here. That's weird. All right, branding client, what's that called? Branding to do. Nope, it's just this board, locations, assignee. I'm going to assign it to myself because, again, I need to do this task, and if I want it to show up in my dashboard set of tasks, I got to do this. Now, here are the next two parts that are really, really fun. If we see files, this is exactly what it sounds like. You can upload files, which is crazy powerful, which means if I have to get permits, if I have to get more information, if I have to do, contracts or paperwork with these things, I can upload whatever I need to. Right? And it's also for the clients too. If I need to upload something for them to look at, cool. The other nice thing is I can add comments. So I can say, permit is, I think it's $25 for the day. Must apply 2 weeks in advance. Add the comment, okay? So now I can go back through these and I can say, okay, I went through Krog, got the information in the research, and now I can compare and pick which one I want to do. Very handy. Again, this is just one way of using these items, but you can see the potential in that there's a lot of things you can do. So if you're working in a team setting, which is really handy, you can have multiple people chiming in, and by adding in comments or uploading files, you're now all on the same page. It's not like somebody has to call you or message you and say, hey, I see you've done some work on this task or it's completed. What was done? Now they can just look at this and say, okay, here's all the research, here's all the information. Cool, they're now up to speed. So it's really, really powerful in that way. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, and again, same deal with assigning tasks. So if we go to my dashboard, how we assigned Avalon to myself. You can do it. Come on, there we go. We can see, oh, it did not show up here. That's dirty. It should, though. Let's refresh the page. Hey, there it is. Okay, cool. I knew it was going to be here. I've done this before. So you can see it's in your dashboard, which is really handy. And again, you can filter it. And also, if you go into the task submenu, all tasks versus my tasks, it still shows up just as we wanted it to, right? So really, really handy, really, really powerful. Okay. So as you can see, there's differences between how these are done, how these are assigned and whatnot. And there's different ways how you can use them, especially on the board level. Me personally, again, because I use Trello for my business related activities, I don't have my business stuff in here. But what I do, though, is I use boards to work with my clients. So kind of the example you saw where I said the branding to do stuff for a brand client, is, so like here, I've got a template for working with Dubsado clients. So we click that, you can see I've got all the different things that I normally would do for one of these clients just built in there, okay? I click on it, I can go and assign it, or privacy settings, right? Let's go back again, right? Let's see if I click this down arrow, copy, delete, cool. Right, so right now this is listed as a general board, right? And I can search through project boards. These are the ones I've already assigned to everybody or all the projects. I can look at general boards, or I can just look at all boards, right? I typically have general boards here. And so if you want to assign something to a client board, let's see here. Yeah, so you can just do the down arrow here, hit Dubsado template, right? And then, so that just pulls up the one you already got. Nope, okay. I always, again, I don't do this very often because so I'll go back to test. I'm sorry for this being confusing, gang. So anyways, if I want to add it to a project file, I can just go to project boards in the task drop down. You can see I've got a whole bunch over here. I can just go add board. I can pick one of the templates, or I can just add a board fresh here, right? And it's automatically in there. But if I add, say, a Dubsado template from that drop down, it should automatically open it up. Yep, right here. Boom, cool. And now we have it. So it exists, it's there. If I go back to the original tab task and we look at my project boards, you'll see now it's here. And what's nice is that this is only in the project folder. It's still considered, the template is still considered a general board up here, which is really, really handy. This was a duplicate because I screwed up. And I said add board there. So it's really, really powerful in that regard, okay? And again, so that's how you use boards. That's how you add them to project files, and how you would just leave them as a general board for, say, your team or just your business, okay? So we've gone through all of this stuff. It's really, really handy. But how do you know when to use a board versus just the regular typical tasks? Okay, because that's really all that's left in this conversation is what do I use each for? Okay, so the first thing is, if you have a bunch of tasks that need to be completed in any order, right, use task boards, right? It's just as simple as that. But if you've got tasks that are linear and chronological, then I would add them to your workflow as to-do items. Okay, so as a photographer, it's okay, research locations, it's find the right time of day, it's get permits, it's establish clothing, it's a lot of little to-do items that have to happen for me in a very chronological order. So I would do those as a workflow. Okay, if you're a graphic designer, for instance, though, and you've got a whole mess of things that you're doing for somebody and it's different for every client, you may just want to use a task board because, again, there's no linear order to this and it's not the same every single time. A task board is much more flexible and better if you're just adding stuff ad hoc all over the place. If you have consistent tasks and rarely add any additional ones, use workflows to create the to-dos. And if you do have a random task that pops up that you got to remind yourself, just build one singularly, either in your dashboard or in the project file itself. Just do the onesie-twosie bit. Now, if you have a ton of tasks and you have various team members that need to organize them, well, if you have various team members and you need to organize it all, use boards, okay? So again, this goes back to if you're using this stuff for, say, your business and you've got, various team members and everybody's chipping in, everybody's doing various tasks, and you want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, use a board for that because you can assign, if you wanted to, you could have, the columns for each person, or you can say, okay, here's a series of tasks. This task, I need somebody to tackle it. You can assign it to them, and it's more flexible that way. It's just a way of organizing a whole mess of thoughts and items so that everybody can use them. And again, it's a different way of organizing things, and I think it makes more sense if you have a lot of people contributing, okay? And then finally, if you need your clients to participate, use boards, okay? I find that because you can add comments and you can do additional things with those task boards, it's just better when you have clients being able to use that versus just assigning them a random task and, they just do it and that's it. If it's that straightforward, awesome. But typically I like using the boards where possible because it just allows for more communication and better traceability of actions and stuff that's going on. Okay, so those are where I would say use regular tasks or to-dos in a workflow versus using a task board. And this is kind of the overview of how to use tasks and task boards. So I hope you found this informational. I hope you found this useful. I do apologize. I talk really, really fast. I'm working on it. So if you like this content, if you want to see more of it, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions about what I've said, please comment down below. I do my best to respond to every single person. Okay? Thank you. And once again, I'm Mike with Mike Glatzer Photography. Talk soon.